Hello, my loves. Welcome back to our podcast. We are the Babbling Sisters. I'm Nellie,
And I'm Steph.
and we have a special guest back with us today. I'm not regretting it at all already before we even started recording. Mr. Bush.
Hi,
Say
everybody.
hi. Thank you. Say hi to the people. Don't be rude.
I'm not being rude. You being rude.
Anyway, today we're talking about friendships. Is that the title, Steph? Did you write that down?
I put friendships down, yeah. I didn't change it because you
Friendship,
didn't say
great.
anything, so that's...
I don't recall. My ears on?
Yep.
My ear lights on. I was like, I don't know how to shut them off. Wait,
Just leave them then.
got them.
Nice
Well, they
side
were
beam.
glowing.
Your side beams are
They
on
were-
now.
Oh, shit.
You had them all.
Ah,
I don't, there you go. Oh, wait, no. Oh, nope.
Nope. Now you're
No,
playing.
now you're
My
blinking.
God.
Now you blink. You got it. You're good. You're good. Wow. Talk about technical
Okay.
difficulties.
next time I'm leaving them alone. Okay. You know what? Since we're on the topic of friendships, I need y'all to be a little bit more supportive as my friends.
We support you plenty. What are you talking about?
For, and
Anyway.
I need you to explain that one. How are we not supportive?
Y'all making fun of me. You weren't supporting me at all. Someone should have came here and helped me.
Really?
You know what? I'll jump in the taxi cab. I'll be there in like.
You
A
know
day
what?
and
You
a
ain't
half.
gonna keep throwing that shit in my face. That's like 20 years ago. That's like 20 years ago.
Some things you
But it's
can
still money.
use forever now.
I was sick and I was on pain meds and I was delirious. And I told him, I was like, can you come over? And he was like, dear, how do you expect for me to come there? I'm like, just drive. I can't drive them. Like, just jump in a cab. It's okay. He lives like a lots of states away.
I finally had to agree to get it. I had to agree to call the taxi cab after I got off the phone with her, and I told her to go ahead and take a nap, and I'll be there when she woke up. That's the only way I got her off the phone.
Lovely.
Because, I mean, y'all know me enough to know that I could be a little bit annoying with my friends, especially when I
Oh.
don't feel good.
No.
Look at him being so supportive. I was not going to go in that
So
direction.
fucking sarcastic. So sarcastic. You know what? Before we dive into friendships and what they mean to us and how we see them, we're going to do a little icebreaker. And Steph is so excited. We are breaking out. What is this thing called? It's the friendship edition of We're Not Really Strangers. Dun, dun, dun.
Uh-huh.
We're going to pull 3 cards each, one of each level. I don't know how that's going to work considering we're pulling 2 cards per person. But 3
This
cards
is your
per
game. We're just
person.
playing it.
Yeah, I don't...
Oh.
Now you're adding more,
know
and
what?
you're stressing me
3
out.
3 cards per person. You are pulling 3 cards for him, one of each level, 3 cards for me. So it's 6 cards in total that you have to do. It's fine. Let's get to it. So anybody want to volunteer to go first?
Oh my
I'll go
god.
first. I'll go first.
You go
I'll jump-
first?
I'll jump out the woods.
All right.
I don't care.
Let's pull a level 1 from you to Steph. What's one small detail about the first time you met her that you remember? Did you meet her in person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember.
Her and Leo came over for dinner.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah. Uh, I don't necessarily know if it's more about Steph. It was more about Leo. He had like a conversation with his parents or somebody off off in another room, and it was like I thought he was yelling at somebody, and I'm like, "Hey, yo, is everything good?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." That's what Steph was like. Yeah, it's just a really aggressive language. It's just the way he talks to his family, and I'm like, "Oh, all right."
Sounds about right. Speaking Russian,
Yep.
Yeah,
nonetheless. Mm-hmm.
I ain't never heard nobody speak Russian in person before. From the
Yeah.
Hey.
Midwest, they ain't around here.
They ain't around here. All right. So, Mr. Bush, to me, what do you think I strongly dislike that most people obsess over?
Can you ask that again? Because I feel
What
like
do
that was
you
like a backwards question.
what do you think I strongly dislike that a lot of people obsess over?
I'm gonna suck at this.
I know. Okay, so if I was to say anything like off the top of my head, it would probably be being lied to. Like I know you hate being lied to because there's no reason for you to do it, and most people would obsess over it. You will usually address it, probably address the person, asking why they lied, and then you'll keep it pushing to the next thing. You'll let your feelings be known about it because that's just the cancer in you. You will let your feelings be out there and be known about how you feel about being lied to, or it being, or the lie being told either about you, to you, or anything like that. And then after you got your feelings out about it, then you're okay. But most people would
Let it
obsess
go.
over it, and yeah.
I'm too damn forgiving. True. Moving on, Steph. I'll go next. From me to you, Steph. What food are you bringing me after a particularly hard day? What food would you bring me, Steph? If I had a bad day, what would you bring me?
I mean, I could probably bring you anything, but I the lasagna, pasta, fried thingies. Yeah.
I like how some of these questions are for like you to answer about me asking you the question
So
and
weird.
then me to answer. It's weird, but hey, I like that because I got off the hook for that one.
Yeah, nice. Lucky you. At
Like,
least it was an easy
that was
question.
great.
I
I
can
know,
do
right?
food.
Woo woo. I don't want to ask this question.
Oh boy. I kind of want you to now.
No, because the conversation we just had yesterday, it's all right.
Perfect. So it's perfect, is what you're saying.
Fuck. Can I pull another one?
No.
Nope.
Shit.
She's
Okay.
turning red.
He's gonna laugh once I read this. He's gonna be like, ah, I get it. From your perspective, what would this chapter of my love life be called?
Dazed and confused.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Anyway, Steph to Mr. Bush, you are asking him, who in my life do you think brings out the best in me? So, Mr. Bush, who in Steph's life brings out the best in her?
Is that what you think, huh?
uh, I would say Nelly. Just because
I
I know
agree.
you guys' relationship has grown stronger, especially since like you guys now are like in closer proximity to one another. So
Literally.
yeah, so I feel like you guys' relationship has probably brought out uh, a stronger relationship between the two of you. Kids are going to drive you insane. Your husband is going to drive you insane, especially after that food you told me he tried to make the other day. Uh, with the crackers and whatever and what
The
have you.
beans and the
Yeah,
cereal.
Yeah.
yeah.
I still can't get
So
over it. He still defends it, and I still can't get over it.
yeah. So I'm gonna say Nelly. Final answer.
It's a good answer.
Great. So, Steph, to me, what do you think I'm sensitive to? I think that you are sensitive to people being rude and ignorant. You tend to react very quick to that. There's like usually you have a button. You can press the button all the way in before you react. When the sensitive part of this aspect comes, you just got to reach for the button and you're already off.
It's kind of true.
So I'm just going to say that
See, I
right
thought the
there.
question was the other way around. I
I know,
thought
I
it
did
was
too. I
Nelly.
was like, I don't
That's
want
why
to
my eyes
answer
got like.
this.
You want to answer
I
it?
was like, I don't want to answer
Oh,
this. And I'm looking at Darren like, oh
no.
no.
Why, Steph?
Oh
What do
no,
you think I'm sensitive
no
to?
reason, no, nothing. You're not sensitive at
Are
all.
you crying?
I'm crying from laughing.
Stephanie, now I want to know. Bonus question, Steph.
No, that's not how this game works.
What- We're going to have to redo this
Oh
questions
my
for
goodness,
sure. All right.
I
Moving
can't.
on to level two.
Oh boy. Do they? Does this
All
mean they
right.
get harder?
They get more in depth.
More in depth. Oh, lovely.
Dun, dun, dun. So, Mr. Bush to Steph, you are asking, what have you been extra hard on yourself for lately? Steph, Mr. Bush would like to know, what have you been hard on yourself for lately?
I'm hard on myself for everything.
Pick something, girl, lately. What have you been hard on yourself about?
Um, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm hard on myself at literally everything.
I
So
know. But
there's
what have you
like
been giving yourself a lot of shellac on?
a lot of schlack on. What does
A
that
lot of
mean?
flack. A lot of flack on.
Nelly out here making up words.
um, I don't know. I think my diet. I've been hard. I haven't been wanting to get back on the diet, and I've been hard on myself, and I've been cheating. So I don't know. Does everything? I'm hard on myself for everything. I could
You
always be
need to
doing more.
let up.
I
You need
think
to
it's
let up.
fair to say that we're all our own worst critic, though. We always, it's one of the things where even if we were to point the finger at somebody else, we would see the four fingers pointing back at us, kind of
Right.
thing. So we're
Hmm.
always going to be our own worst critic.
Yep.
I honestly just before we go to the next question, the three of us are the same when it comes to the fact that we are amazing at giving advice and the fucking worst at accepting our own advice. The advice that we give to each other is fucking amazing. But would we listen to ourselves?
Hell
Oh,
no. I got myself in this situation. Why would I listen to that motherfucker?
facts. Facts. All right. So, Mr. Bush, to me, what do you need to vent about right now? Permission to let it out. Well, you know,
I really don't think.
no, no, you're asking me, sir.
Oh,
You're
okay. My
asking me.
bad. My
Don't
bad.
be selfish. Don't be selfish. You're asking me. What do I need to vent about?
What do you need to vent about, Frank? I'm all ears.
Um, listen, I have already vented about this, but I'm still not done with it.
Oh boy.
The choices that some adults make and they don't think. I'm really curious as to if you really thought about it before asking me, and you guys know the situation I'm talking about, I'm not going to put it on blast just yet. But do you really think before asking? Like, has it already been processed in your brain and you're just asking me for the final permission? Or did you not think at all? I'm baffled. I'm confused. And I don't know which one's worse. The fact that you didn't fucking think and thought it was okay, or the fact that you did think about it and thought it was okay.
They're both terrible.
I don't I don't know which is worse at this point. And that's all I'm gonna vent about at the moment. That's all. That's it.
All right.
There are plenty of things I could vent about, but that's it. Oh, so me to Steph.
Oh God.
Steph,
Uh.
do any of your friends no longer feel like friends?
Yeah. There's a few.
We can deep dive into that later.
I'm like, do I need to like, sir?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I was
no.
just asking.
Okay. Yeah.
I was just asking. But that's a side note to go back on. So let me put that card up here. Put that card up here. All right, Mr. Bush. Who in your life leaves you feeling drained? What boundary could you set with them?
Okay, so this is
You don't have to name
probably.
names if you don't want to name names. Like, you can just be like, you can make up a name.
Oh no, I mean I don't have to say names, but there is a particular ex that drains uh, the living life out of me at times, and it's because I allow them. I allow them a space to put me in a position where I feel like I have to respond.
Yep.
And in actuality, I really don't. I don't owe anybody but myself an explanation. I don't owe anybody but myself a a conversation about what I'm doing with my life or where my life is going. And the
Facts.
fact that I give that person, I see it as a kind gesture, whereas that person may be using it to get like a leg up or find out what I'm doing in my life when I really don't need to volunteer that information.
Yep.
So what boundary could you set?
Not talking to them. I mean,
That's possible. There are
it
fur babies involved, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Um, you can set boundaries like how I set.
Only
We
talk
only
about,
talk about the
yeah.
babies.
Yep.
There's no
Your
conversation
personal life
we
is
even have
off
outside
limits.
of it.
Yep.
Whenever that person brings up anything else outside of the immediate children, you do not even engage. Don't give it any effort or any response, no matter how much tug and pull comes from the other end. No matter what they say or do or flip out or call or message, leave it alone. After time, they're gonna know, okay, this is not getting me anywhere, and they're going to dead it. And if they don't, that's when you block and you figure out the rest. So, moving on. Steph.
Oh boy.
Steph to Mr. Bush. Steph is asking, when was the last time you were a bad friend? And what could you have done differently?
okay, so this is going to get a little deep. Uh, last time I felt like I was a bad friend was because I didn't feel like I was the complete friend I could have been while I was somebody. I my communications were short. Um, I didn't reach out and like even if people reached out to me, I always had an excuse. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, X, Y, and Z. Instead of being that good friend, this was actually something I addressed in therapy because this was something I had beat myself up over, and uh, when I had told my therapist about this, and we were talking, and she's like, I can almost bet you that you think you're you think you're more worse of a friend than they think you are. And she's like, and she told me flat out that I had to forgive myself.
Yep.
She's my friends, they don't see it that way. They don't look at it as the way of, or in the era of that I was being a bad friend. Because when I would come around, or when I would make myself available to them, I was still the same DC, still the same person, still laughing,
Yep.
you know, whatever around or whatever. And it was more me beating myself up versus them seeing me as a bad friend. And then later on that night, uh, I sent out like a mass text to all my close friends. And I was like, I told them flat out, I'm sorry for not being there the way that I should have been, or not being available to you the way that I could have been available to you. Um, and about 98%, and we're going to say the 2% is just they didn't respond at the time, but everybody else was like, the hell are you talking about? You know,
Right.
we understand life happens. We understand
Yep.
things happen in your life, and we've always been there for you. We'll continue to be there for you. And I've tried to be a better friend since then.
For you being very hard on yourself
Yes.
because you were dealing with things. But let me ask you this. At no point in time were any of your friends like pushing you and asking questions as to why you had changed and why you were distant? Not really.
Not really.
Right.
And it
So
was
why weren't you
more.
looking at them as bad friends? Why was it you being the bad friend? Why is it you that constantly has to push and make the effort when you were dealing with things? Now, I know what you were dealing with over the course of time. So, why weren't you giving them the same energy you give yourself and the same hardship you give yourself?
I think for me, it was because it was when we were together, like, hanging out, doing
Yeah.
whatever, you know, I was open, you know, I was honest, and I told them what was going on. So it's not like there was a lack of knowledge of what was going on in my life. It was just a more of a, when things would happen and I would fall off the map, it was like, we understand DC does this every once in a while.
Right.
He gets in his head, and eventually he'll pop back out, and we'll talk about it again. And now this is mostly discussing like my circle, and my circle consists of maybe like 6, 7 really good friends, and it's more or less those people know that you have to let me sometimes just go through the process and let me process things. And I'm actually working on being better about that, to where I don't get into
Right.
that mode where I seclude myself, where I'm closed off from the world. More so now that I'm in this stage in my life where I'm doing some healing, I'm doing some fixing, I'm doing some changing. I I don't seclude myself. I reach out if I'm in that mode where I feel like I'm going to be, where I'm trying to shut down or shut myself off. I reach out. Uh, Me and Nelly talk more often than not. There's always at least, and if it's not her, it's Sky. you know,
FaceTiming.
baby girl loves her Uncle DC. So, uh, but it's those relationships, and even
Yeah.
they're becoming stronger because I don't allow myself to be that closed off. I don't go into that egg anymore and then hatch out like, hey, everything's okay. I
Yeah.
if I'm going down that road and I feel myself go down that road, uh, it's a chance for me to be present. And
Yeah.
that's another thing that I'm working on is to be present because that allows me to focus on what's going on and allows me to deal with it. And then it allows me that if I need help and if I need,
Yeah.
that friend or that somebody to talk to, I can pick up my phone and I can message anybody at any given time and they'll be like, hey, let's talk about it.
Friendships go through those phases though. No? Do you guys agree? Like I feel like every looking back at all of my different friendships, like I've gone through phases of not talking and secluding and because I feel like everyone has their own journeys that they're going on and their own self-reflection and we all need to take a step back and heal, even from the greatest of friendships, and those who are your true friends will get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I completely understand that.
It
I've
can
had
damage a lot of friendships, but also those really deep connected friendships, it doesn't change it. Space and time doesn't matter. When you come back around, you pick up where you left off.
Facts.
That's how I feel.
yeah.
You find what, Steph?
No, I've found most of my friendships ebb and flow. There's some that stay consistent and haven't ebbed at all, but most of them ebb and flow.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love how we've all gone off on tangents and we're still not even done with the game yet. So,
Seriously.
It'll be a 2 hour
this is
episode,
what
isn't
we do.
it?
This happens every fucking
Are we
episode, people.
surprised? I mean,
You can't say, oh, I was expecting the game first. Sit down, enjoy the ride. Anyway, we are now on Steph to me. Steph, you want to know, what do you want to make more time for and what's getting in the way of that? Um, I want to make more time for me, for my happiness. Um, I was getting in the way of it. I was getting in the way of myself. The one major thing which you guys know, I recently signed up to finally do Reiki. And I would always stop myself, even though it's something I'm very passionate about. And you guys know I love healing people and just making people feel good and feel better. And if I can add comfort into somebody, I love it. It gives me pure joy. But I felt like a hypocrite because how can I heal someone when I'm not healed? So I needed to go on the journey, even though there have been quite a few of my friends who were like, bitch, are you crazy? You healing other people heals yourself, and you know that of yourself. What the fuck?
it can.
But I was
It's a mixed
stopping.
bag.
Yeah, but I was stopping because I was like, how I'm sitting here all chaos, I can't give off the proper energy, even if I'm faking it and the people who don't know me think I'm the happiest, positive, most wonderful person in the world. And I'm sitting here internally in shambles. And how am I going to heal somebody? For me, I'm like, they'll feel that energy. I had to get that calm and peaceness within myself to exude it. So it was me.
Are
I'm the
you
problem.
calm? Are
It's me.
you in calm and peace mode now?
I'm never going to be fully calm and peace
That's what
mode,
I thought.
but
Okay, cool.
calm and peace to an extent of where my energy, I can get into that calm and peaceful
Got it.
mode and not give any bad juju
Got
to
it.
the other people's.
Understood.
Now I'm saying
I
now so,
understand.
so now healing others can actually heal me. It can make me feel better. Whereas before it would just be fake as fuck. So yeah, that yeah, yeah,
Good.
yeah. All right. Level 3.
Oh, good. This is almost over. What,
Think
huh?
we did
I'm
this back
loving this.
around. That's
I
crazy.
love
All right,
questions.
Mr. Bush to Steph. What did you learn during this game that feels helpful for our friendship? Cute. I love how she gets put on the spot.
like
She's like,
I don't know.
Steph, what's something did you discover anything new? Because you don't really know him. You know him
Yeah,
through me.
we don't.
So
Yeah, we
you
don't
know
talk like that. It's true.
right. So is there anything that you found particularly interesting thus far about his responses in this game? Or something you didn't realize about him, like he's a big ass fucking teddy bear? Um
No, I knew he was a teddy bear.
oh see? Can't hide behind that Luke Cage persona.
Oh, I can.
I
I'm
mean,
a
they all
bear.
try.
They definitely try. But what's one thing that you learned during this game, Stephanie? Like I just called your full name, Stephanie.
Stephanie.
I was
Ooh,
like,
Wow.
oh,
I wasn't mad. I don't know why that came out.
like super aggressive for no reason.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Don't
Uh,
let it happen to you.
I don't know that. I don't know. This is terrible. I'm not good at these things. I'm stressed out. This is gonna fall apart.
Would
That.
you like another question?
Yeah, sure. Let's try that. Let's see if that's any better.
Okay, finish the sentence.
Uh,
Now this is Mr. Bush to Steph. So you've shown me blank about myself. What has Steph shown you about yourself?
I don't think that's applicable to our
This is
situation right now.
weird. This is
yeah.
I'm
weird.
gonna need you to go ahead and pull another card.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not.
not gonna work either.
Weird. Oh my wait. Level 3 is a little too deep for some people. Um okay. So level 3. Okay. Mr. Bush to Steph. What do you think I'm growing out of? And what do you think I'm growing into? So Steph, what do you think he is growing out of? And what do you think he's growing into? The blank face.
I mean, I know that he's working on himself, but like I don't know much more of that. Like I don't
All
know,
right. Do you want
you
me to
know.
answer for you?
Sh-
Do you want
like,
to call on a friend?
yeah, call on a friend.
I'm
Call on,
calling audible
call
on this
on,
one.
call on his friend you to answer this question because
All right.
you two are good
Um,
friends.
so he is growing out of people pleasing
Okay, that's good.
and growing
People pleasing
into
sucks.
yeah, and he did that for a very long time. And now he's growing into putting himself first
Good.
and learning who he
Everyone needs
really
to do that.
is and what he needs. So,
That is fair.
Mr. Bush to me. What was hardest for you to open up to me about? And what made you feel safe? Ugh. What was hardest for me to open up to you about? Um, my feelings. It was very difficult for me to open up at the beginning and say my true feelings. Um, over time, the friendship that we've built has definitely gotten me to a safe place. Like the things that I now say to this poor man, who half the things he probably doesn't want to hear. I am a very open friend, and it has no boundaries. And don't shake your head. Um, but his friendship and knowing that he doesn't judge me and he supports me and he will tell me if I'm wrong, but he's still going to love me at the end of it makes me feel safe.
Oh,
Aww, look at that. That's tear worthy right there. Shit.
are we done now?
No, we're not
Shit.
done.
Shit.
Me to Steph. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm dropping books. Hold on. Me to Steph. Finish the sentence. You're the only person I can blank with. Finish the sentence, ho.
The only person that I can blank with?
Yeah.
I don't. I. See,
Oh
this is
my
not for me.
God. You are a bad friend.
What do you
Stephanie,
mean?
you can't think of anything. I'm the only person that you can do whatever it is with.
But I don't do anything.
You're right.
And things that we do, like, there's very few things that we do together that I can't do with someone else. Like, I don't understand.
You need to find something that's exclusively for me.
That's exclusively yours?
This is disrespectful.
I mean, you get more face-to-face time than anybody else.
All right.
Than anybody outside of this house.
So
I don't know.
No. All right. I'm gonna give you another question
Ugh.
because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Steph. No, I don't want this one. What inside joke of ours will never stop being funny? Bitch, tread
We
lightly.
should have had that one.
Tread real fucking lightly, Steph.
But there's so many. And I know,
Stephanie?
Nelly, this isn't fair. There's a song. I'm already crying. there. There's the Doughboy. I mean, which one's safer?
Pick one, Steph.
I mean, I'll just say the Nelly Belly song. How about that? But I'm not gonna sing it. I won't sing it. I'm not gonna.
Sing it.
I'm crying.
Moving on.
Off camera.
Quickly and
I
swiftly.
want to know what this Nelly
Quickly
Belly song
and
is.
I'll sing it when we're
Moving
done.
on. Bitch, you're gonna still have it recording and it's gonna be at the fucking exit clip.
I'll stop recording, I promise.
Alright, so me to Mr. Bush. How has our friendship changed you for the better?
It has allowed me to be probably one of the only people who I allow myself to be extremely vulnerable with. I don't really. There was a number of years I didn't allow that vulnerability because um, I didn't. I feel like people would judge me for it because, as me being me, you guys know me as the teddy bear. You guys see the big guy, and but I have to put on mask. I have to put on a face to address the world. Uh, but when I am having like discussions with you, um, you generally can look right past the mask. You can generally, when something's wrong, something's bothering me, even if I don't say it, and it's either a tone that I take or just some way that I'm not addressing you that you usually call me out, and it's annoying sometimes because you did it the other day and you're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, I'm fine. And you're like, no, you're not, what's wrong? And I'm just like, let me deal.
Let me figure it out and then I'll fucking come
You
to you.
should not pick up FaceTime with me because my energy was off. Remember, Steph, I said my energy's off. There's something wrong. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm in a mood and there's no reason for me to be in said mood. I FaceTime him and just the look, I said, what's wrong? Nothing. Well, hold on now. Because my energy's better. Ask Steph.
Yeah,
before
it's true.
I even
I'm like,
called you,
I had to
I
check
was
in with
saying it all
myself
day.
to make sure it wasn't me.
That's probably the most annoying thing about our relationship is because I feel like we're connected on such a level that if one of us is off, we feel it.
Yeah.
And if I need to call you or if I need to text you, I get a signal from the universe. Usually it's either a song or it's something that reminds me of you. And I'm like, and the stupidest thing is going to be what reminds me of you is because I used to say you remind me the way you smile looked like Nicole Kidman. And so, like, if she flashes across my screen randomly, don't ask questions. Um, I'm like, okay, I don't watch her movies. Okay, I need to touch in with Nelly because something's going on. Usually by that time, I usually hit you up and I'm like, all right, what's going on? Or we'll talk, and I'm like, ah, okay. But there's always a signal from the universe that I need to get in touch with you, and I feel like that's
Yeah.
where our relationship is has grown to. Is like we can just pick up on each other's energy from you half a freaking country away know when something's wrong, just
A
like
little
I
bit.
know half a country away know something's wrong with you, and I'm usually trying to reach out. Or your daughter knows something's wrong, and then she reaches out for you.
That's very true. She is a little empath in the making for sure. Um, but yeah, we're gonna definitely touch base on those cosmic connections on a deeper level between friends. We'll make it quick because this game has lasted quite some time.
Well, we're already
Um,
almost at an hour.
I know, right? We might need to do a part two on the friendship. Good lord.
Or
Anyway,
technically part 3, depending on how you look at it. But yeah.
I don't like your attitude, Stephanie. Steph to Mr. Bush. What do you need brutally honest advice about, Mr. Bush? Steph wants to know. What advice do you need to be brutally honest about?
Everything.
You and her
I
are
mean,
the worst when it comes to this. I
no, I mean,
swear.
because once again, I'm going to say, and I bring up my therapy sessions a lot because I'm learning a lot about myself in
Yep.
that aspect. Um, the biggest thing for me was that because she asked me, she goes, "Well, what do you need from me?" I need the space to be authentic. I need the space to be honest. And if it hits me in the face, it hits me in the face. Like don't pull your punch. And
Mm.
so far, this little black woman has not pulled a single punch. And it's like things that I've just naturally assumed in life that, oh well, this is how X, Y, and Z is supposed to go. And she's like, well, who told you that? Well, I just assumed that that's how it was supposed to go. They're supposed to know this. Excuse me. They're supposed to know this. Why should I have to tell them? How are they supposed to know if you don't tell them? And so now I'm sitting there and I'm swole as a tick because I'm thinking, well, they should just know, you know. And, and so yeah, for me right now, I need, and that's from all my friends. I need just that brutal honesty because honestly, I am the most stubborn individual walking God's green earth, and if you do not hit me over the
I'm
head with the
glad you
knowledge,
said it.
you ain't got no room to talk. Anyway, if you don't hit me over the head with it, it probably won't sink in. So
I'm glad you said it.
remember we're twins. So what's that say
Yeah,
about you?
we're not talking about me. We're talking about you. So anyway,
But we twins, so by talking about me, we talking about you,
and
right?
we gotta move on in the
Right?
game.
Okay. Okay.
So Steph,
Yeah.
to me,
Uh huh.
what's something you can always rely on me for? Hmm. Rely on you for a lot of things. Um, but the biggest thing is loving me through my flaws. I know at the end of the day, no matter what I do or say, because I've done it and said a lot, um, that your love for me is not going to change. So I know
Facts.
I can rely on that.
It's true.
Now, now that this game is over and done with,
Woo!
um, this game is actually really fun. And I think, like, if you were to sit down and, like, do this, like,
If I like
in depth. one-on-one.
if I didn't feel the
It's
pressure to like answer like right away and to like be able
yeah,
to like put it aside and to think about it, because it's the pressure of having to like
right.
answer that freaks me
I
out.
I think that, at like a game night, um, for friendships that have fallen off and friendships that need repairing or just sitting down and reconnecting with friends,
Uh huh.
it's a great game, you know? Um, it has a lot of prompting cards and you really get to understand a little bit more and it gives you a little bit more to do. I will also say dating cards for friendships. They actually give you some really good prompts to questions that you would typically ask someone that you're dating, but let's be real, friendships are technically dating relationships as well. It's just in a non-sexual way.
Right.
So, a lot of those dating game cards, I felt that I've played over the last like almost past year. Um, they a lot of them are friendship based and they're really building a foundation of understanding between people. So I feel like that can flip back into the friendship
Are there
mode.
questions in there that are gonna make you uncomfortable though? Like,
Well, you would skip those with friends, or you would just flip it reverse and ask it in a different way. Are you
okay.
saying sexual
Yeah,
questions?
that's what I was asking.
There are some. There are like intimacy after dark. I wouldn't suggest to play those with friends. Although you could because you could learn a lot of things about your friends that way.
I for sure.
Um so, I think it's great. I think that all friends should play this game. I played this with my baby mama over the phone when I was living in Florida and she's in Arizona and we cried. Um be, we know each other a lot and you want to talk about cosmic connections. She is my female cosmic persona and Mr. Bush is my male. um I have friends where I have a very deep rooted soul connection to them and I feel energy is off. I don't exactly know who it is unless I randomly think about them or something pops up like he was saying like, "Oh, I got to call her. Hold on." Um but if I feel it, I check in with certain people like, "Are you good? Cuz I'm feeling off right now." And she does that with me, he does that with me. We do it with each other. Um but yeah, we have that deep connection and still playing this game brought up a lot of things and really solidified what we knew about each other but didn't communicate. So I feel like in friendship sometimes like we take things for granted. Like he knows me so well that sometimes he doesn't say things and I'm like, all right, yeah, he knows me very well, but then there are some things where I'm like, does he really know? And then he'll say something, I'll be like, oh my god, you really do know me. And it's like I feel like we take that for granted in friendships, like we
Yeah.
don't, because it's like dating, right? And sometimes it's nice to hear like you really are paying attention, you really are reciprocating in this friendship that I feel like I'm giving my all into, and that feels great even with friends. And I feel like it's really important. I feel like deep connections are super important. um I think when I was a kid I used to take friendships for face value. um Not really face value because that's saying you just accept it for what it is. But they were very superficial. And I threw around the word friend a lot to everybody. And I had so many friends that weren't really friends. I
Yeah.
didn't understand what a friendship was. And now the friends that I have, I keep them at a minimum. I have acquaintances and I have love to give to plenty of people. Um, but for my friends, they get a different part of me that other people don't get. And I hold a lot of value to friendships. And I'd be damned if you ain't gonna tell me what's wrong with you. I don't care what I'm going through. I will real quick, because that's
Reach up
just
this
who I
high.
am. What?
You can't reach up this high.
Did he forget he got to sit down at some point? A perfect height when
There,
he
there's
sits down.
there's step stools too.
Thank you, Steph.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you. You the best. But yeah. So, Steph, let me ask you because I know friendship has been difficult, and I know Mr. Bush has cosmic connections to friends. And I know that friendships are difficult for you, and you don't. Um, I don't want to necessarily say you don't have many
I
close
have very
friends,
few.
but
Yes.
yeah, you tend to hold back from a lot of people. And I know it's partially your social anxiety, and
Yep.
you just sometimes really suck at reaching out.
Yep.
Um, you can't avoid me now because I live next door, but um, have you ever had a cosmic connection to a friend?
Like just a friend? Mm,
Yeah.
no, probably not. I mean, I have a connection to you,
Right.
but you're my sister.
I mean, we're best friends, but we're sisters, but
Yeah.
we are best friends. Um, and I don't think that that's to say take that lightly because not all siblings are best
It's
friends.
true.
So I think that you need to give that a little bit more value and don't just be like, well, you're my sister, so
No,
no,
but
bitch, because we
it,
don't have to be friends.
it's
Like
true. That's
I
true. We don't have to be
could not
friends. That's
fucking
very
like you
that's
enough,
very
you
true.
know?
That's very
Yeah,
true.
there are plenty of siblings who they're siblings and they're friendly, but
Right.
they're not best friends.
Yeah. No,
So
that's
I
accurate.
think you need to give a little bit more credit
Okay.
where credit's due, and that's me. So
Uh, and I have a
anyway,
connection with Leo, but that's I mean,
yeah,
other than that,
which is amazing. But also, he is your best friend as well.
yeah.
He's your husband, but he's your best friend, and you guys became friends before you got together. So, um, give yourself credit. You do have cosmic connections to your friends, bitch. Okay,
Okay. Huh.
you're
Okay.
just adding the additional labels of said people on top of it, which is
But there's no like other person like there's no other
right
person that I've gone out and
outside of
had.
your family.
Yeah.
Would you want that, or does it scare you?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't scare me per se, but it's not something that I'm like actively seeking. You know.
But if it organically happened and the universe just said, "Bloop,
Yeah,
here
then
it is,"
that's fine. I'm not
you'd
against
accept it with
having
open arms.
friendships.
Yeah,
I'm just
I think it's
against
one of
going
those.
out and finding friends, and although I have made friends
you
without,
have.
so I mean, we're making progress, but still.
I think for you to have like a connection like that with somebody, uh, it requires you to avail yourself to another person. And I think the reason why you have those, speaking of Steph, the reason why you have that connection to Leo and to uh, Nelly is because you guys have been through things together.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's kind of like when you hear people say, "Oh, we went to war together, we went to battle together." That's you build that bond through battle.
Mhm.
You build that bond through you know trials, tribulations, and you develop that bond with one another. And I think that if that were something that you could do with somebody else, that's amazing. But me and Nelly have been friends for the better part of 2 decades,
Right.
and there was and I'll tell anybody, there was some trial and error with this relationship. It wasn't just like it flopped out and was like, oh, we're great
Yeah.
friends.
We're
No, there was
besties.
yeah, there was fights, there was arguments, there was cutoffs, there was
Years of
years
not
that
talking.
yeah, years we didn't talk, and then it was like, and no matter how hard I threw this woman away, she finds a way to boomerang back. And it's the same way with her. No matter how hard she tried to throw me away, we boomerang back every time. And so it's like after a while, we both got the signal. It's like, okay, you're not supposed to not be in my life. You're here for an obvious reason. So I'm just gonna sit you here, and we're gonna work this out. We got to figure this out for each other. And you know, through that, it's how I would say me and her built that bond of where we pick up on each other's energy, we pick up on each other's when we're not having a good day or when we're having that off day. And what's even worse about it is the fact that we both try to avoid one another when we're having those days, but we can't avoid one another when we're having those days because, like I said, we'll pick up on it. Something's off, something's not right. And I'll go to pick up the phone, or she'll go to pick up the phone, and I'll look at it and I'm like, I could just ignore this call, but she's just gonna call back. So it's like, yeah. But as
That
far
like
as
I declined his FaceTime because I was on FaceTime with you earlier, and he says that like he ain't that person because I declined it. He sends me a meme like, okay, all right. He acts like he's not that person, like it's just me.
oh, I totally am, totally am. Uh,
Oh, Lord.
Especially with people who I consider like my inner circle. Um, and these are people who, if you know my day to day movements, you're in the inner circle. Like,
Hmm.
generally, I don't let people and there's family who doesn't know what I do on a day to day basis or on what moves I'm making. Nelly knows what moves I'm making, probably when my next doctor appointment is, or when I should start scheduling my next doctor's appointment. And that's just because we're on a very just we talk every day or at least every other day basis. Um, but one of the things that my therapist has definitely instilled in me is that friendships definitely have to be like that pour into one another kind of relationship. It can't be one way. If
Definitely.
it's you got to pour into them just as much as they pour into you. It doesn't mean that you're always going to be 50-50. Sometimes
Yep.
you're going to be the 70, they're going to be the 30, they're 60-40, but you're always pouring back into one another. And that's one thing that I have actively definitely been working on is definitely making sure that I pour into my friends, pour into them, positive energy, positive, affirmations that, you got this, I believe in you, go for it. You know, I don't like being negative and I don't like harboring that negative energy. I gotta constantly pour that positive into you. I'm gonna definitely try to pour, even if I'm not feeling it for myself. You know, there are days where I just don't feel like I'm that positive individual, or where I'm not feeling up for it. And usually, that's when somebody comes along like, "Hey, man, either they send me a meme, they send me something, these are my friends who check in on me. They're like, you good? Just send me something stupid." I always say that the Lord sends somebody something stupid to make me laugh when I'm having like some of my worst times, and usually it's something stupid from a friend, and I'll just start gut busting laughing out of nowhere, because I needed that laugh.
Yep.
And usually that comes in the way of somebody from my inner circle, somebody from my friend. And I appreciate all of them and I love all of them, and I try to tell them all as often as I can. Is like, I love you, brother, I love you, sister. Y'all 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 mean so much to me. And uh as part of the conversation me and Nelly had the other day about how friendships are, because when she had brought up this whole card game, uh I think one of the questions was, how would you feel if your friends didn't like me? And I was like,
Hmm.
that to me that didn't like register to me, because the way my friends are, I see my friends as an extension of myself.
Right.
And so whether that be my humor, my uh, my tentativeness, or whatever it is, my friends are an extension of who I am as an individual. And so it wouldn't make sense for me, or it doesn't compute to me that my friends wouldn't like you, or my friends wouldn't like anything about you. because either they don't know you well enough
Right.
or they haven't had a conversation to where they can vibe with you. Usually the energies match up. I feel like I could set Nelly or even you down as a group of my friends and everybody would get along. We could play some Uno, have some drinks or whatever, and everybody would get along. Everybody would have a good time. And
I
that's just
love
because I feel
Uno.
like, right? I'm crucial with it. I'm definitely gonna tax you as much as I possibly can. However, but like I said, I feel like that just is part of it. Is like my friends have to be an extension of who I am as an individual,
Right.
or else the friendship itself won't work. The
Right.
vibes won't work. The
I
energy
feel
is
like
just
that's
gonna be
important.
off.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I feel like it's really important. Like, and I've had that conversation with other friends where like Sky's godmother was saying how she loves when her individual groups of friends can come together and be cohesive and have fun and really enjoy each other with no drama. And because let's face it, everyone is different. All of your friendships have different dynamics. Every friend is for a different spot. Like, I have some friends who are my go-to people for everything, no matter what it is. And then there are other friends who are like, okay, I go to this person for this, or they're more reliable when it comes to this, or this is my party friend, or this is the when I'm bored friend. Like, and it doesn't make them any less of a friend or any less of a person. Just their way that they move
Mm-hmm.
within my bubble makes them who they are and makes them why they're close to me. And being able to integrate everyone together is pretty fucking dope.
Definitely.
um so we have talked quite a bit about friends.
How many
And
of us have that?
I've had that song in my head all day.
friends, hey, the ones we can depend on, friends. Um, so yeah, I think that having more open conversations about friendships and the dynamics and how we move, is something we should definitely do. Um, Especially coping with the loss of a friendship and how that looks. How you move past issues within friendships. um I think, if there's room for it, maybe having a healing sesh for some friends that have come apart, bring them together. I think it would be pretty dope. The game
Something
could
wrong with
help,
your finger,
you
Steph?
know.
No, nothing at all. Actually,
He-
nothing. Just
it's
fixing
crazy.
my
It's
just
weird,
fixing my
right?
glasses.
Crazy. So I think that that's a great idea. I think we should definitely keep this topic on the table. Um, so friends,
Yeah.
I'm talking to all the babblers out there. Um, I think it's good to really evaluate your friendships and what they bring to the table. Are they adding value to your life? If they are not and they're just being toxic, it doesn't matter how long they've been around. Give them the fucking boot. We can talk about that next time as well, but keep that as your mental note. Until next time, love yourself first, obviously, but definitely put some love into your friendships that you might be missing out on. And just remember, it's all a bunch of BS.
Bye.
You ain't gonna do our finger wave? Do the finger wave. Do the.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great. Yeah.